Hello, this is Everett Pierce III of Einstein 314. And this is part 2 of the false information that is being talked about in the news media as we speak. Okay, and like I said in the first, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to keep putting out videos because of hurdles that I'm trying to overcome. And but if you appreciate my videos and you want to give back some love, because it's going to make you feel good. You know that you've been inspired. You have benefited from my videos. You can go to paypal.me/capital E Everett, EVERETT, capital PIERCE. And then you just put in the amount of the love that you want to give. So, now in this part 2, now I got towards the end, I got a little emotional a little bit, a little aggressive. I have a little. Everyone has it. There's always that one thing that just is like your pet peeve. Okay. In my previous life was Einstein. In my previous life, I was Abraham Lincoln. So, reincarnation does exist. We'll have a video series just on explaining that, because it's 1,001 ratio. As far as 1,001 things that prove that reincarnation does exist for every one that a person can come up with. So why do I get so sensitive? Well, as Abraham Lincoln, I got to experience Civil War and to see a bloodbath, unnecessary bloodbath, but both sides stood firm as being right. And I'm only allowed one time. I mean, I can't, it's not beneficial for me to harp into it. Just experience it and be done with it. And that's essentially what I've done. I had to take a few minutes, just kind of relax a little bit, continue my message in this part 2, because the things I'm going to explain in this video is just as important regarding the false information out there. Okay. So basically, first of all, to reiterate about Abraham Lincoln, and it goes even further back, spiritual war. There's been a lot of men and women died or dying, slaughtered in the name of God. And when it comes to warfare, certain things like that, bloodbath, it's something that never leaves you. It never leaves me. Because that is one of the things that will take you faster than anything to an extinction. And that's when extinction got you at your best, and it's working you both together, it wins. I didn't say devil, I didn't say Lucifer, I'm talking about extinction. For every action, there's a reaction. So, unless you want to be a professional extinctionist, I would suggest at least give me the benefit of the doubt and listen to what I have to say. I'm an author of this. I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's why I get a little sensitive when it comes to this area. So I've seen enough of it, and it just, no. Because that'll take you so fast in extinction. Okay, now we have to be fair about this. Now, you say, well, there's always exception to the rule. Okay, another thing that you could probably put in there is a pedophile. Now, in prison, because I did research in prison for 7 years, because I have to understand multiple levels as an Alpha Prime, as a problem solver, on advanced level 3. Now, if you start putting out, oh, this guy is a pedophile, or as they would say in prison, a baby raper, is inmates in there have a very stickler thing about baby rapers. They will kill them. And it's actually, you know how like ISIS to be a martyr? Well, to them, a baby raper is like a form of martyr. So that's another exception to the rule, that if you're not bringing forth hardcore facts that can be confirmed at least 3 times, you don't go around accusing someone being a pedophile without due process. That's why we have due process. And it's on the level of, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Means you do not have to ask me if I'm a male. You do not, there's a lot of things about me, as you're watching my video, you don't have to ask. You can make that observation. So it's one of those things that communication is very important. And watching on NB or MSNBC, there was this guy made $8,000. Okay, now we're gonna give Hillary the benefit of the doubt, even though she was pounding the racism, bigotry, and all these little fancy words. People love to sling words. But if you ask them to sit down and give me 5 minutes of what you understand about that word, they can't do it. They can't tell you in a positive sense, in a negative sense, and how it's being used, and how it's your salvation, how it could be your destruction. But people sure know how to sling words. Well, we'll give her the benefit of the doubt. You got people out there on one ad making $8,000. Okay, and I've seen some of these ads. You get on there and you got so many advertisements in there. They give you a few lines and you have to go between the next advertisement and you have to read another couple lines, and they're doing that deliberately. They want people to act on impulse, and it's around Christmas time, and they click on it and say, oh, well, I'll get my Christmas shopping done. And I'm sure that's probably how they're getting their money per click, viewing. So, the pedophile. So, those are fighting words. Those are on the same lines of civil war. Meaning that if that inmate gets out and you say you've been accusing this candidate of being a pedophile, and there's no truth to it, even if it went to Supreme Court, there's absolutely no proof of it. That biker, that convict, will hunt him down, and he will do some horrible things to him, then kill him. That's how they handle baby rapers. So if I was in charge and we had to hunt down some really serious pedophiles, yeah, I'd get some bikers, I'd get the inmates, convicts. Oh yeah, they're like bloodhounds. And they will get them. Okay. Because we have to take it serious with our young generations. Okay, so if there's going to be an exception to this, that wouldn't be protected under the First Amendment right. Not to mention, we have to come up with this thing is, you can't be paying someone $8,000 because it's like, I'm teaching people. A lot of stuff I do is pro bono. And it's like to get someone to just out of their own initiative and say, here, Everett, here's $5. I know it's not much, but I appreciate all the stuff you do. And this person's making $8,000 on one. You put it 10, that's $80,000. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. So we'll give Hillary the benefit of the doubt. Just say she wasn't behind it. Because like the teams, like fans out there, and the fans want their team win, and they can get rowdy like we experience in the football. Okay. So when you put that money factor in there, and then there's going to be another thing, is like some of these false ads, it was against Hillary. It's called the reverse psychology. So that way, and it comes right at the very end, because if they suspect that there's a good possibility Hillary's going to lose, then she can say, well, see, because of this false information, that's why I didn't win the election. When actually, by stoking up racial tension, Cops are getting killed. People being drug out of their cars. People getting shot and stabbed. Yeah, I think that goes without saying. Leave the racist thing alone. So the other one would be a pedophile. So, I mean, we have a lot of serious crimes out there. So the top two, leave them the hell alone, is those two right there. Okay, outside of that, the First Amendment, you're protected under. And you say, well, how do you fight against that? How do you know what's true or not? And I'm with you, okay? But you also have to develop your sense of skill set of being able to identify positive, negative, right or wrong. You know, in the beginning, Adam and Eve, the forbidden tree of good and evil. Okay, that was the right tree to pick. And that's exactly what you picked. And that's why you're here on the sixth heaven. Okay, but now you got to learn how to use all these little tools in a functional way that doesn't end you being a professional extinctionist. Okay, now if you've been watching the news, Denzel Washington was interviewed. And he was really upset. Really upset. I know this man very well. And he said, well, you know, you want to be informed and you look at the paper and then you're misinformed. And then it's like, and it's not about the truth of things. It's like who's first and how you're going to sell it. Well, let me give you a little insight of what I know about Denzel Washington. First of all, I am so freaking proud of that man. And he has saved my ass several times. He's a seventh heaven spirit. He's classified as a mercenary general. That's what I'm saying. There's been a few times. I'm not perfect. There's been a few times he has saved my ass. And that's why when you watch him on the screen, or if you're in person, it's like a whole different energy dimension about him. He doesn't ask for respect. His energy says, damn it, you better give me that respect. That's how his energy is. And I have high respect for him. So, and that's why he had said it. We have difference of ideas. He's okay with that. I'm okay with it too. But when that dust settles, do we got each other's back? And that's exactly what we have done. Now, I'm not sure how much of his spiritual amnesia that he remembers, but I'm sure within him, he's probably thinking, man, why do I have all these skill sets? Why do I know this? It's kind of like a born thing, you know, where he knows how to speak. He just knows how to know things, and he knows what's in the room. And when he's on the screen, it's way too natural. Denzel acts way too natural. So I'm just informing you, he is the seventh heaven. He's a mercenary general. And he has earned it many times over, not to mention cover my ass a few times. And that's why, and like Trump with his cabinet and picking out the right people, that's critical. Because if I didn't have the right people around me, that comes down to, are you going to be a professional extinctionist? Or are you going to be around doing videos so I can teach you? So I have the highest respect for him because he's earned it. I love him. And when I heard him say on that interview, I could have reached through that television. I could have just kissed him and give him a big hug. I was like, holy cow. I've known this for a long time about him. They're just certain individuals, certain spirits of the seventh heaven. You never forget. You know, it's like Jordan here. You know, a lot of basketball players, you know, they think of jumping up and dunking the ball. Jordan set the standards a little higher and says, well, I'm not going to dunk the ball. I'm going to use my feet to do it. I mean, his goal was up here. Everyone else was down here. And it wasn't too high where he didn't think he could obtain it. And as we know, with his Jordan shoes, him being in flight and just hang time, I think he accomplished that goal. And that's why he's well established in basketball, because he thought above the bar. Instead of this, he was that. Okay, that is an example. Denzel Washington. Okay, a mercenary. What is a mercenary? An energy mercenary is that's why, very detail oriented, fact oriented. A mercenary, energy mercenary, means there's a serious problem you have to handle because many people's lives are at hand. I mean, this individual has to get in there really quickly, using mercy, using love, and take this person out as quickly and with mercy. It's called an energy mercenary. Okay, but they are not to do that unless they have hardcore facts. And that's why when you see in that interview, you could see the passion in his eyes. I mean, that's some things that you just can't act. And he's like, well, you read the paper to be informed, and then you're misinformed. And then it's about the truth. It's about what comes first and what you can sell. Didn't that sound like a general? Didn't that sound like someone who could easily be a mercenary? I mean, if there was a pedophile person out there, and he was going around killing, say, 15-year-old girls, I can tell you one thing. That son of a bitch would find him, and he would find him fast. Because the sooner you can, every second counts. Especially, I'm just using that as an example. He would take him out. He would do it quick, mercifully, and there's no hard feelings. That's the element of mercenary. It's part of energy that is ugly, but is also necessary. The general, as we know with generals, with our own United States, we need someone that has an understanding of warfare. Your objective is to have a status. I call the condom concept. Meaning, I'd rather have a condom in my pocket and never use it than be in a position that I have to use it. So when it comes to warfare, it's like you want to prepare yourself. You want to set this up. And it's a real McCoy thing. You know, I can take this down off the shelf and I'll whoop your ass from here to Tuesday if I have to use it. And even Donald Trump has said that. We're going to build a military. And it's for the main purpose so we don't have to use it. It's verified. It's not counterfeit. It's not false where it looks like a dummy missile. No. You talk about awesome. Well, he make America great again. No. We need a military that is freaking awesome. Because extinction can be really nasty. We got other countries, ISIS and Taliban, and there's a group over there. They haven't made themselves known. They're more of the ghost terrorist. Because ISIS and these other they are the decoys. Like we have with the presidential plane. We have two planes. One's a decoy. And as they got us distracted, it's the real group. And they, pardon my French, they are nasty as a motherfucker. ISIS is on the level of a level 1 warfare. The silent group that we haven't heard yet, they haven't come to the forefront. They are a level 2. So they are nasty. Now, I'm trained up to a level 10 of warfare. Do I need a level 10? No. But it's one of those things that I'd rather have it there and never use it. And then be in a position where I need it and it's not there. Okay, so these are the things that we have to be aware in terms of warfare. You know, the women that wears these things coming down and the things over their face. The thing is, they're not using it. It is warfare equipment. So, if you're a small village, you can put up dummies and you fool the enemy that's trying to kill you. You can use it in many different ways. You can use it as like slavery. You could have ISIS in there posing as women and they pull out these AK-47s and they shoot you up. Warfare is nothing nice. And believe me, when they're a small number, they're going to use, you know, what I call the 7-pound foot. You got a linebacker's 350 pounds. He's more than capable of running down like John Riggins. He'll carry 6 people along the way. the only thing that will stop him is a 7-pound foot. It only takes one little foot to trip him, and he's going to be unsuccessful. So that's why we have to be mindful of this. Okay, wearing this thing, head covers and stuff, that is not what makes that religion. So the lady in Germany is correct. Is we have to know who we're working with. We want, for self-preservation, we want to make sure we're exposed. So when you see us, you know that we're not after to kill you. You got to do the same. We're still giving you the right of freedom of religion. But you say, well, Christians are not innocent too. They used to wear robes, hoods, or hoodies, because it was very barbaric back then. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so yeah, Denzel Washington, just sends shivers. I've seen his capabilities. So I'm not sure to the extent of his amnesia or the things that he's aware of. But surely he's aware of his talents and how it's just naturally he has them. And as you saw or have seen or will see in that interview, just looking at his face, there's no mistaking. And there's nowhere in there. It's genuine all the way. So that's what I'm saying. He's a mercenary general. And he's one badass. You know, they say with a general, his nickname is Mad Dog. No, he's a badass. So there's a Mad Dog and there's a badass. So, and you earn that. Okay, so being fair about Hillary. You got all these people making a lot of money. I can just imagine the amount of money people were making putting out these false stories. I was like, I'm sitting there about one step away from eating my dinner out of a trash can, and this guy's making $8,000 on a bogus crap. And it was something about, someone got killed, and it was some conspiracy because he was going to snitch on, Hillary or something like that. I didn't, when I hear nonsense, I just kind of want to zone it out. But what I did was quite clear. It was $8,000. I'm like, oh, it's tempting. And well, you get a lot of people that don't have a whole lot of money. And they say, wait a minute, I can make $8,000. Hillary don't have to do shit. And they put all these things out. And anyways, by doing the racial tension, actually brought more voters for Hillary had they have left that card out of there. So, no, it would have been far worse for Hillary had they left the race card out. So that I know for a fact. Okay, so it doesn't sound right that the First Amendment would protect that, but there's certain things that we can put in, consider them exception to laws of energy, and you got to take away, if they're soliciting as part of that, and they have to look over it, and they see that it's about racism or pedophile or baby rapers, they don't get paid. They seize their money. We cannot give them incentive to do something, especially of that sort. We cannot support it. Otherwise, it falls under the First Amendment. And whether it be WikiLeaks or someone that is rock solid, 3 confirmations. So if you're in question, you say, wait a minute, I do want to know a little bit more about this, but is this true? It's something as simple as a right click. Like even on Facebook, just like it with viruses and malware, I'm trying to think of the name of it, but you'd right click on it and it would quickly check it with this database if it's a known virus or malware. So the same process can be due with that. Whether it be a picture, and they can also pick up the text if it's got written text in there, that it will go to this source and either it's been confirmed or denied. And that way, you have rock solid that you can depend on. And they will be held to higher standards. And that way, you're still preserving the First Amendment right. But you're also putting that in there. That's why we've been a lot of talk with WikiLeaks. Is, if in doubt, you can have a resource. Now, there are people out there, when they got their mind set up, it doesn't matter what's coming there. You could say this is 100% true, has been confirmed 10 times, and they'll say, nope, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And it's basically when certain individuals got their mind set up, their manifestations kick in, and they're on what is known as a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you can only do so much. But for those out there that say, hey, I like the idea of not jumping the gun. What Everett's saying there's a lot of truth to it. And it's like, boom, WikiLeaks becomes our rock solid. I mean, it has to be rock solid. And it has to be as rock solid as possible. That way we have a resource. And that's how you kind of both in. Not that I like it, but that's how you battle it. You have a resource that way. Everyone out there knows, if you're in doubt, check it out. And in doubt, check it out. So, as far as other people, they're just looking for anything to justify of their manifestations. You can't do much about that. I mean, you could try and you hope, but for those that are, and they don't got a whole lot of time, because you can waste a lot of time trying to sift through and read through the picket fence, and and you're working 2 or 3 jobs, and you got a family, and it's like, I only got 10 minutes to try to figure out who's the best candidate I have to vote for. So, I mean, not everyone's got a lot of money where they're sitting around all day. Okay, so we have to make it compatible. We have to also we have to support the inseparable thing of communications. And this thing about the race card, it's a given. We need to leave it alone. If you can't prove it using due process or anything of that sort, you have to leave it alone. And if you're on television, you don't have to tell me you're a black man. You don't have to tell me you're a Latino. I can see that. Keep it toned down. Let's make it fun. Let's make it entertaining. Let's put fire in people's asses. Let's get involved because it's fun. It can be entertaining, as you saw with this election. But there was that one, the old quote, the straw that broke the camel's back. You just take it one, it's like a boat. We're sinking. I can only take in 100 people. And I got a brother up there. He's up on the edge. Hey, Everett, come on, man. I don't want to die, man. I'd have to look him in the face. And it would be hard. I said, I can't. Because if he takes in, I take him in, we're all going to die. So sometimes we were in a really predicament of things. But I guarantee, as our boat drifted away, I would not leave my eyes off of him. He'd stare at me, I'd stare, and I'd make sure he wasn't forgotten. And he knows what he was loved. And he would also know as to why I had to leave him behind, because abandonment really freaking sucks. So that's why we have, with certain things, especially with the racist card, because it's still a sensitive issue with a lot of people, because it's mainly because we don't want to go back to what a life is of 1865. I lived it. I knew the significance behind that and the bloodbath behind that. And I wasn't going to accept no for an answer. This is what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. So I'm just tired of seeing bloodbaths. And that's why I was telling people, informing people, the stuff that they wear, that is warfare. And even the Christians had used this as tools. It's one thing that I put my jacket on, it's 10 degrees outside. Okay, that's a functional purpose of it. But still, even if I have it on, and everything is antsy, and there's a lot of terrorists going on, it's just a courtesy thing. I come walking in, I open up and say, see, I come in peace. And then you can wrap up, especially if it's something to stay warm or whatever. You have to allow that courtesy, because I guarantee you, if you allow all those immigrants coming over and people migrating, is the silent group has set that up and deliberately putting them in a vulnerable situation where they migrate out. And there'll be so much of it, like I was saying in part one, the discombobulation. You don't know what to believe. So when you get a lot of normal people and you see these things over people's head, you just assume that's a woman. And then find out, no, it's an ISIS guy. He's got an AK-47. He's got a bomb vest. And he just took out 100 people. So and when it comes to warfare, you have to think it from different angles. You know, man has relived this evolution over 1 million times. Because terrorism is a bastard. It is a bastard. And it's the reason why for many of our resets, because people haven't thought everything out. I'm tired of the warfare. I'm tired of the bloodbath. And I'm about fairness. So if you're a nation out there, no, you can still give their spiritual, religious beliefs. You can pray. We have to know who you are. It was the same way with your children. You know, you want your child in safe hands. So work with us. Give us that wiggle room. We'll give the wiggle room to you. And if you're not about anything about destruction or extinction, you're not going to say, okay, here, I'm fine. You know, we go to courthouses. We take things off. And we just say, hey, I have nothing to hide. I'm not here to kill you. But when they find, oh no, this is my religion. Just know these attires are designed as warfare. And that's how it's the ultimate of surprise. And in our military understands that concept. Japan, I mean, all over, the element of surprise. Like with Japan, my birthday was December 7th. The December 7th was just the other day, Pearl Harbor. And why that turned out vicious, it was an element of surprise. Basically, as someone would say, being caught with your pants down. So, to win against extinction, you can't have your pants down. You can't overlook anything. You still have to give them their spiritual right. That's why you have to identify. You say, okay, I understand. You can still think and believe Allah. Okay, but what you're wearing, not only is it intended to be for slavery, but it's also used as warfare. I'm not here to kill you. I'm not at war with you. I just ask you for your courtesy. We're bringing you in as refugees. We're just trying to show you some humanity. Reciprocate a little bit. Make me feel at ease that I know you're not here strapped with bombs. Or at least I know that you're not a male under that, opposing as a woman, and you got a bomb vest. You know, that's where you got that. You have to come together on things. And you identify. You be real specific so they don't take it personally. So that's why we have to do it in this fashion. So, you know, just something about these false news. I mean, it just opens up a can of worms in so many areas. And as I just explained to you in part one and here in part two, how it can go nasty so freaking fast. But it wasn't enough to stop Trump. And because they knew Trump is a seventh heaven spirit. And by contrast, everyone that's been in our government is going to look like pathetic fools. But we're not going to focus on that. Our is to fix it, get it running the way we designed it, and let's get past this evolutionary transition. Let's see 4 billion years in the future versus Armageddon comes in, which is an act of mercy, and you start over again. So you don't have to go through the horrible of horribles of extinction. So I think it's pretty much clear cut as far as the falseness out there. Develop yourself, you know, for the government. I'm sure, you know, Trump has already thought about it. Let's have one solid resource that everyone can depend on. That way, when in doubt, you check it out. And the media is like, I don't even want to go there. There's not a lot of the media. I've been watching Fox a lot. And I've been analyzing a lot of the media channels. And I was like, there's not a media out there that would stand a chance to what I observed. In the area of stoking and irritating the racial card. And it just, irritated the hell out of me. But I've already explained that. But so that's why we have to draw some attention to this. If your life depends on it, you need to be able, at least one thing that tells you some solid information so you can make the best decision possible. But if you're in that state of mind, you don't know what to believe, that's called Russian roulette. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, looks like I'm dying today. So, I'm just, I know, I've already said it. I'm so proud of Denzel Washington, and it just every time I think of this man, it puts shivers. I mean, I have memory of this. Some of my memory I would love to forget. So, he's an awesome man. And that's why a lot of people treat him, because they sense that essence out of his energy. Same with Trump. Trump is like, I guess you could say, the third element. He's not Republican. He's not Democrat, even though, he's taken the Republican side, but he's more of a third element. And that's what scares a lot of people out there. Just by him being in there, he's going to make everyone who's sat in our government pathetic fools. And that's why you got a lot of people, that's why they've spent billions of dollars to stop this man. But they've underestimated Trump. They've underestimated me. And the driving force, which is God, energy, that said he had to be in that office. But the American people, every single one of you American people, like Trump has said, we are new territories. We have gone further than we've ever gone. That's why people are not going to have deja vu. That's why the media misunderstood Trump's election. Some people can sense deja vu and say, oh yeah, Trump's going to win, or JoJo's going to win. They didn't foresee this happening, because this time frame hasn't been lived yet by the people here on the sixth heaven. So what Trump is saying is true. Let's not, like you say in football, let's run it down to the end zone, but not just take it to the end zone. Let's run right through the end zone. Let's make damn sure we get to the end. And let's focus on that ball, and let's not drop that damn ball. Otherwise, you're either going forward or backwards. And it sucks starting over. Ask anyone with Hurricane Katrina or any other disaster out there. It sucks. You get that sense of hopelessness and helplessness. And you got a lot of people don't really care. They give the image that they do. It's horrifying. Just like abandonment. So, I have a lot of faith and hope in everyone out there. We're at a point in evolution, you have not done that in 100 or in a million evolutionary resets. So it's got fire up my ass. And it's like, finally, we're going to make it. Because the energy has told me many times, we selected you, that we're going to make this work. Energy says, well, you can do it. But I'm telling you, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. It's because of you and me, everyone coming together. Let's stay focused forward. Once we get past this evolutionary transition, then we can stop and say, you freaking idiot, why did you do this for all this time? But stay focused. Don't drop or fumble this football. Let's get deep into the end zone. Let's correct things. Put fairness to everything. Everyone can relax a little bit, and we can actually start seeing some freaking awesome things. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the fire in my ass. I've been there, done that. And it's for the fact that we are at our best that we've ever been in 1 million resets. It's freaking awesome. So something is working. Let's not fumble the ball, please. Let's be logical about it. Let's be smart about it. Let's not put our logic first, our emotions secondary. Primary, secondary, president, vice president. And develop them both. Because if you lead with your emotions, it'll kill you. It'll take you to extinction, and then Armageddon has to come in through the mercy of God and says, okay, here we go again. Either way, you're going somewhere. Just like energy. Energy is always doing something. So we'll end it right there on this part 2. So, and we're going to also get in talking about why Trump is right about companies moving out of the states. And you will I know my economics. I know my economics. I know my communications. I've spent many lifetimes developing and working with you guys. So definitely watch that video as well. Because the thing is, you don't want to just tell someone, well, you don't leave our country and we're going to do a tariff. Break it down and explain it. When you explain it and people say, oh, wow, now I understand what you're talking about. Hell yeah, we're going to start doing this. Trump already knows this. So on my next video, I'm going to explain it to you that will make perfect sense as to why we have to have things in a particular way for fairness for everyone. I have appreciation for all the elements in our society, from capitalism to we the people, to the government, to the religions, everyone. We're considered one unit, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have to work together. And that's our next stage, is learning how to cohabitate like animals on the ark so we don't become extinction. We can learn how to cohabitate and be freaking awesome. So there's to be great, to be awesome. Well, you're already awesome. But the level you want to be on is freaking awesome. You feel good about yourself. You feel good at people around you. And it's about not tearing people down. And you'll have a fire in your ass every single day. And you won't have to be told to get up. You'll want to get up. Oh, what are we going to learn today? What are we going to do today? What we're going to have fun? Yeah. So with that, we'll end it right there. It is the 9th of December, 2016. And thank you for your time. If you want to give a love gift, go to paypal.me/Everett Pierce. I don't care if it's $1 or even just put a comment and say, Everett, thank you. So with that, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have learned, I've enlightened you, because we are so close of reaching, we're already at a level that we haven't been before. Let's take it all the way deep into that end zone. We're almost there. We're not out of the woods yet, but let's not fumble the ball. And thanks to you, we the people, we're making it happen. Finally, we're making it freaking happen. And I love it.